Everybody, welcome to another CareerFoundry event this evening, where I'm joined by Dr. Humera, who is a CareerFoundry mentor, but also a machine learning expert and director at eyeo, a company based in Munich. We have had a little bit of an emergency this evening that Humera was called to a different appointment, so Humera is currently on the move, but will be home within the next 15 minutes. She's literally traveling home as we speak. But it's not going to stop us from putting on a great webinar this evening. So just bear with us. We will get through this. Let me just introduce CareerFoundry whilst everyone is joining. So CareerFoundry is the online school for your career change into tech. We guide you from complete beginner to job-ready professional in data analytics and help you land your first job in the field. We're not any old school. Our programs are so flexible, you don't need to quit your job to change your career, and you get regular one-to-one mentorship from not just one, but two industry experts. So it's a tutor and a mentor, just like Dr. Humera. And if you don't land a job within 180 days of graduation, we will refund your tuition. So this is CareerFoundry's job guarantee that we offer with all of our main career change programs. Now, I know this evening, a lot of people have joined. Just quickly, I want to introduce how the webinar is going to run. So if you have a look on the right-hand side, I'm hoping everybody can hear me. Antonio says that he can't hear me, but I'm hoping that, okay. Can nobody hear? Humera, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, for people who are joining, could you just drop on the right-hand side where you're joining from, why you're interested in data analytics, and also if you can hear me. Okay, people can hear me. That's fantastic. So we solved problem number one. If you can't hear me, maybe just refresh the browser or try Google Chrome. You can see in the handouts at the top, I've included the handout for the presentation this evening. So that's a Tableau dataset in CSV, and Humera will be presenting the presentation and then doing the dataset. I'm going to disappear. We are going to be taking questions at the end once Humera gets back home. So any general questions that you have, we're going to take those at the end. If you've got any specific questions whilst we're working through the webinar, do ask them at the time, and I will try and ask Humera that whilst we're going along. I do apologize, this was a little bit of emergency beforehand, but this will be on the go, but we're going to see if we can still make it work. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to pass over to Humera. Humera, I hope you're still there. Humera, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Humera, I'm gonna pass it over to you.
Wow, I actually see you very clearly.
I'm gonna hope. Okay. I'm gonna pass it over to you. I'm gonna hope the connection remains. If it doesn't, we might need to think about something differently. But I'm gonna pass it over to you and see what happens.
Awesome. So I hope you can hear me and see me now. And yeah, if you can give me a little signal that yes, I am visible and audible, that will be awesome.
I can hear you, Humera. You're coming in live and loud.
Okay, awesome. Then, hi everyone. Thank you, Will. And apologies because I am super excited to have this webinar with you. And it's one of its kind because I have never taken a live webinar from my Autobahn ever before. So I hope this goes fine. Let's dive right into what this is going to be about. We are going to learn Tableau and hopefully under 45 minutes. So you won't become an expert right away, but if you have had certain questions that you wanted to get started, you have heard about Tableau and you're not sure what is this about, then hopefully all these questions will be answered in the next few minutes. So let me take you through the biggest question of all time. Why Tableau? So what is Tableau? Why do we need it? So if you're here, I assume you have some background in data analysis, at least to the extent that you know that they are related. So let me actually take you through the data analysis pipeline a little bit. Broadly speaking, this data analysis pipeline is a five-step process where whenever you identify that there is data and you need to solve some kind of data related problem, you have a business problem or you have a question that you want to be answered and you are working with data. So it typically follows this pipeline and it starts with data collection. So once you identify that there is a problem that you need to solve, you collect the data. And this data can be collected by either conducting surveys or putting um, sensors out there. Online, it could be the data generated by the different clicks. Whenever you are in a superstore and you pay your invoice, your items are checked in. That's all data. You are looking at the weather and you are getting your forecast. That's data. So it doesn't matter how the data is coming in, but once you decide you need to have some kind of data related topic, you need to collect data. Then comes in some initial steps, which is the data will not necessarily be clean. Real world is chaotic, as we can see right now. There is a chaos going on, and we need to find out meaning out of that chaos. Similarly, when you collect data, it will have problems. It will have problems like there will be missing values, there will be duplicates, there will be differences in format, and so on and so forth. So you need to clean that up. Once that data is clean, then you go ahead and do some kind of descriptive analysis. It's more like how good my data is to get a feeling of the data. And here you actually check simple values, simple statistical values like average, like minimum value in the data, maximum value in the data. So this actually tells you if your data has certain kind of uh, uh, more about outliers and or what's the pattern that we are talking about. Once you have this kind of information, and this actually, by the way, also helps us in going back and cleaning up our data furthermore. So if you have attended our introduction to data analytics short webinar, you may have noticed that when we went through those initial descriptive analysis, we found that certain values were zero and they should not have been zero. So this kind of descriptive analysis actually tells us more about the quality of your data. Once you're done with that, then you move towards exploratory analysis. And exploratory analysis tells you what do you want to find from your data. So this is now where your business questions come in, and this is where you try to solve your problems. So much for the preparation. Now this is the actual analysis. And now once you are done with all of this analysis, you have some findings. Now you want to present those findings to your audience. And this audience could be technical audience, this audience could be non-technical audience. And here you need some kind of visualization and storytelling. And this is exactly where Tableau comes in. So this last block where we are talking about visualization and storytelling, this is where Tableau comes in. If you go deeper, and I have reached my home, so we will soon be able to connect via a proper connection. But let me finish what I'm saying. So some at some places you might see that Tableau not only helps you in visualization, but it also helps you um, in the initial analytics. So you might be using this for a little bit of data cleanup. You might be using it for a little bit of exploration and some descriptive analysis as well. But if you ask me one step where visualization or where Tableau lies in, that's the visualization and storytelling. Now let's have a look at a few industry examples. And I think it would make much more sense if I just connect from my laptop, because that will be more stable and you won't have to hear me through a jittery signal. So give me maybe 30 seconds and I'll be back.
Maybe I'll just reappear for this intermission. I do apologize for everyone watching this evening. This was an unexpected intermission. Humera had to make an emergency appointment, but super amazed that Humera is doing this webinar on the go. I know that she did have the appointment with her husband and then was in the car and has just made it home. We're thankful that she's home. And I'm just filling in here, really. If you've got any questions, jump on board. You can see we're doing this a little bit ad lib tonight, but Humera's pulling this off is amazing, and she's going to be hooking up to her laptop any moment now and rejoining us. Yeah. I wish I could tell you something about Tableau, but it's really not my field of expertise, unfortunately. What's the difference between Aisha? That's a great question. I'm going to ask that at the end. Any general questions, just drop them on the right-hand side. If anyone's interested in data analytics, how to have a full screen view. Good question. You should be able to access that on Big Marker. But when Humera goes into doing the practical part of the webinar, what I'll do is I'll switch it across so that the screen's a lot smaller so that everybody can see what Humera's doing. Don't worry, there's no stupid questions. All questions are good questions, obviously within reason. Well, yeah, whilst I'm here, let me just plug a couple of things. Do check out the CareerFoundry YouTube channel. We've got some great data analytics content there with some familiar faces that you might recognize from the team. Also, check out the CareerFoundry blog. We've got some more general questions. And Humera, you've made it. This is fantastic.
I am so thankful for all your cooperation, and yeah, it's like I'm so humbled by the support that I just got, because it was totally unexpected.
Humera, I can't believe that you made it. I think this is the most action-packed event that we've ever hosted. You deserve an award. But I was just about to present Tableau, and I've got no experience in it, so that would have ended terribly. So I'm just going to hand it back and disappear into the background.
Thank you very much. So, hi everyone. So we now I have another challenge, and I'll try to still keep this under 45 minutes. So what I'll do right now is I'll be a little bit faster with these theoretical slides, and so that we can spend more time in doing the practical real work. So what you see here right now is some industrial examples, because this will help you to know where Tableau is being used. So it is, for example, being used in a lot of domains, from sales. And what you see here are different kind of plots. So sales is one domain, and the different kind of plots or different kind of visuals that you see here are related to geographical map or some kind of bubble plots or line charts. And in another totally different industry, healthcare. So here you see a totally different kind of visual. So based on, so I'm trying to tell you two things at the same time, that the domains that you have are various, from sales to healthcare to finance, and the type of visuals that you can create are also numerous, like from scatter plots to word maps to this kind of trees and geographical maps and so on and so forth. You can move into education, and there are yet another plots, and the list is actually endless. I have this link here. It's from tableau.com, Tableau. So you can actually look for Tableau showcases, and there you'll be able to see, and I'm not doing it right now because of the time, that you'll be able to see that there you can like apply visualization in every step of life. Um, and these were not just the only visualizations that we could do. There is much more that you can do in terms of visualization, like some kind of statistical analysis, some kinds of data composition that you want to display, or some kind of time series that you want to display over time, and there are multiple variables which are connected and you want to show the relationship. So all this is totally possible. So as I said, I really want to get hands-on as fast as possible, and that's the plan for the next 30 minutes. So we want to get started with Tableau, and Tableau is a software which comes in various flavors. There is a server edition, there is a company corporate edition. It's there for desktop users. It's there for there is a Tableau public version. Um, a lot of um, paid or commercial Tableau products are also available for free trials. But the one that we are going to use is the public Tableau. And please note, if you will search for Tableau public, maybe you will see get started in Tableau for free, but that free version is a different one. So we are not talking about just tableau.com. If you want to download Tableau and get started with the free version, that will remain free forever. And you don't have to show your association with any company or anything. Please go for public.tableau.com /app/discover. And yes, the link was just shared. If you recall the data analysis pipeline, it starts with data, and we need to collect data. And the data that we are going to work on today is data set that I downloaded from Kaggle. It's a World Happiness Report. It's also available in the handouts session, and you can download it from there, but I can show it to you as well. So let me share my slides, share screen, and I am sharing a window. So yes, so I am here right now at a Kaggle website. So what I did, Kaggle is an awesome portal for data enthusiasts. So here you can join in, you can see what current data sets are trending. You can download data sets, you can upload your results there, you can compare your results. So when I looked at what are the current trending data sets at Kaggle, I found this World Happiness Report, and I liked it for our purposes. It serves very well. So I just downloaded it. So you can actually come to Kaggle, make an account, and then you can download. And once you have it downloaded, then we can go back to the slides, and then comes the next step. We need to import it, and then we'll start exploring. So from now on, I'll show you how to import the data into Tableau and what we can do with all this. So we will see what are the different parameters. Something which is very popular, very common in is dimension and measures. We'll check them out. We will see how we can make different kind of visuals. We will create some dashboard, and we will create a story. So let's get started, and let me now share my Tableau desktop, and we will then proceed. So I am now trying to share let me share my full screen. Okay, sorry for the mirror effect, but bear with me. So I have now Tableau Public signed in, and I'm now opening it up. So it is opening here. Okay, so this is the first cover screen that we see. And here we have the options to import our data. And let's have a look at what data did we just download from Tableau, from Kaggle. So we just downloaded the World Happiness Report.csv. If you double click on this and you open this up, then you see some random numbers like this, which do not make sense. But as you can see, there are country names. Let me increase the size a little bit. So there is a country name, then regional indicator, there is a year parameter, life ladder, and so on and so forth. Uh, it's not very easy to read, but let's import this and then proceed from there. So we come back to our Tableau public, and we can connect to the kind of file that we want. CSV is regarded as a text file. So if you have had an XLS file, then you could have clicked on Microsoft Excel and opened it from here. But since this is a CSV, we can click on text file, and then we can select our World Happiness Report and then click open, and we move ahead. So what it does now, it has read our CSV file. So it has this, and now it knows how to read a CSV. So it's now giving us a table with country name, region indicator. We have a year, we have life ladder. So what happened was this survey was conducted over several years from 2005 till 2022. So that's why for year, you see from okay, some missing values. See, some missing values are also there. So 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, up till 22. And this was all the data for starting with alphabetical order, the country Afghanistan. So for the same country for different years, we have this value. And then in this survey, it was asked um, uh, or it was found what is the GDP per capita, what's the social support, how much is the expected healthy life expectancy at birth, freedom to make life choices, generosity, perception of corruption of government, and so on and so forth. And along with that, it was also asked by the participants that how do they consider their life ladder to be, which means on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy they are. And so this is the data that we have. Now let's see what do we do with this data. So to do anything with the data, we need to start creating different sheets. So let's go to a worksheet, and I'll explain what does that mean. So this was an overview to our data. But now to do anything with the data, to make visuals out of it, we work on sheets. So as I come to sheet, you notice here uh, a few parameters. These are actually what I mentioned, dimensions and measures. So Tableau is intelligent enough to know which parameters are numbers, which parameters are strings, which parameters are location, and so on and so forth. And it tries to group them in such a way so that you can apply certain operations on them. So for example, as you can see here, ABC in front of regional indicator, it shows that ABC is a text, it's a string, and of course, it's a string, so you cannot do some mathematical operations on it. And that's why it's important for Tableau to know what kind of parameter it's dealing with. So for example, you cannot add one region to another because you cannot add Asia to Europe. As simple as that. You can add or you can get average of GDP across several years because they are numbers. And see here, GDP is prefixed by the hash symbol, which is there for a number. And for numbers, you can apply mathematical operations. And on text, you can do some text related operations. And then there is a country name, for example. So here you can, and you see there is a globe here, and also there is a latitude and a longitude measure, which also has this globe here. And this is telling us that Tableau knows this is geographical data. And if it knows it's geographical data and it was able to generate longitude and latitude for different countries, then you can imagine you can do that mapping kind of thing. So now let's have a look at what do we want to do. And here, let me quickly sneak peek at the examples that we want to cover. And the first example that I want to cover is here. So what I want to show you is in the first example, we want to make a bar chart or a column chart, and we want to see what is this concept of filters here. So let's look at this particular example. And to do that, I'm considering the use case of composition analysis. So let's try to see how does country relate to the GDP. So how is the country doing with respect to GDP? So how I would do that. Please note that how is your screen partitioned? Let me reduce this and reduce distractions from your screen. I'll take this here. I'll arrange this. I'll keep this here so that we can also sneak peek. Ah, so if you and focus on the Tableau dashboard, not the notepad. So what do we see here? We see here that there is a space for plotting something. There are rows and there are columns. There are some filters, some pages, and some marks. These are called shelves. And in this example, as I said, we are going to look how we make bar chart in Tableau. We will also see why we need to make bar chart and how we apply filters. So, and the example that we are considering is a log of GDP per capita country-wise. So the two parameters that we are talking here right now is the country name and GDP. So I drag and drop the country name to, let's say, column. As soon as I do this, so I simply click and drag, I see that all the countries that were in there, they are now shown and they were all text. So I see ABC. If I would have dropped it on rows, I would have seen this as row and this looks nicer. So let's keep it. And what's the other thing that we want? We want to have how is the country's GDP on average. So I drag log of GDP per capita and I drop it on columns. And as soon as I do this, Tableau does the rest. So Tableau actually creates a bar chart or a column chart, whatever. So these are bars, and if it would have been vertical, it would be column. And here you plot, here you can see that all the countries that were in the data set and their GDPs are plotted. We can do certain things here. So for example, we can swap the row and column so that this becomes, instead of a bar chart, it becomes a column chart. So for your purposes, whatever format is better, you do that. And for example, if I want to see if there is a trend here, uh, if I want to see which country has the highest GDP and which has the lowest, I can actually sort this in ascending or descending order. So I have sorted this in descending order. So the countries, and I can also do the sum. So sum is over the years, or I click and I also take the average. So it's average over the years and I sort it again. So now I can see that, okay, so Luxembourg has the highest GDP average over that time period, followed by Qatar and followed by Singapore and so on and so forth. And as we go down, as we go further, it's going down. And then there are a few countries for which we do not have data. So it's really as simple as that. You don't have to sometimes even think about what plot should I use. If you just want to see what is the trend between countries and their GDP, you just drag them in the proper columns and Tableau tells us what to do. And I promised we will apply filters. So for example, let's say we want to filter out these nulls. We don't want these nulls because it means it's a missing value. So I can apply filters and I can tell Tableau that I don't want to see nulls. So where is this null coming from? This null is coming in the average log GDP capita. And I don't want to see this. So I can filter this out. And to do that, I take the GDP per capita and I drag to the filters. and I tell it that I'm talking about average. And here, do I want to include null values? No, I do not want to include null values. So I click OK, and now you see that you have filtered out the null values. Let me rename this sheet to GDP trend, country-wise GDP trend. That's it. Let's think about what else do we want to do. And let's say I want to take up the second example of trend analysis. So this was a column chart. What if I want to do some kind of timeline? So I want to see how the certain thing, for example, confidence in national government, how is it changing over years? So let's create a new sheet. So you can click here, bottom, and this is like confidence. So country specific again, country specific confidence over time. Now think about this, typo. Now think about this. What parameters am I talking about? I'm talking about country, I'm talking about years, and I'm talking about confidence. So I'm talking about now 3 parameters. In the previous example, we were talking about 2 variables. So how do we plot multiple variables at the same time? So here you can check this out like this. So what does our prior knowledge tell us? That we take country and we bring it to somewhere here, either the column or the row. And we take years and we bring here, and then we take confidence and we bring it here. But order also matters. So let's try with year. So I take the year and I bring it to the columns. So right now, it just took all the years and plotted that. It doesn't know what to plot it against. So now we tell it that we want to plot it against the country. So I take the country and I bring it to the year, to the rows. And now this seems a bit strange, but what it's doing is it's actually, we are not finished yet. We take the confidence and we put it next to the country as well. And now it makes much more sense. So what it is doing now, every row is representing a country. Every column is representing a year. And what are we plotting? We are plotting the confidence in government. So for example, we can look at different uh, governments and different countries, and we can see how the trend is going. It's not very easy to visualize. So let's see if I want to check it only for a specific country. So let me take country and apply a filter here. And I don't want to see all the countries, rather I only want to see Germany, let's say. So I select Germany and I click OK. And now I only see Germany. And we see that over time, the confidence is increasing. It was high, then it went low, and then it went high again. So this is how you are now putting uh, multiple kinds of variables together. I want to cover one more type of um, sheet before we go into how you combine all of this information together. So let's say we create one more sheet and we want to see the happiness factor across countries over time. So let's say I want to, and like we want to see more of the geographical map. So let's say we want to see happiness happiness on map. Okay. Uh, what do we need? Which parameters do we need? We need country, and we need happiness, which is the life ladder. So that's something that we have seen already. Uh, what we want to have is the geographical map, and this is where the show me comes in. So on the top right, you see that you can click here and you can select a different kind of plot. So when you click, for example, this, your it transforms, Tableau transforms your rows, columns, and all these marks. And what you see here is a world map with the different happiness values plotted on the plots. And as you can see that for some countries, the dot is smaller, and for some countries, the dot is larger. And this is corresponding to your value of the happiness. So the smaller the value of happiness, the smaller is the dot, and the bigger the value of happiness, the bigger is the dot. We can use another kind of geographical map as well, which is, for example, this one, where it's not represented by dots, rather it's represented by variation in colors. And here I also want to show you that you can actually change the color of um, your map or whatever plot we are talking about by using this color uh, tab on shelf. And when you click on it, you can actually say edit colors, and here you can specify which color palette you want, which means Tableau also allows you to align with your whatever corporate theme you are talking about. That, okay, I want to go for red green, so the minimum values will go more red, and then the higher values will go green. And this is even more visually, it makes much more sense to see visually that, okay, these are the countries which need attention, these are the countries which are doing good, and so on and so forth. So based on what your purpose is, you can do things like that. And this is like, we haven't even scratched the surface of Tableau, but you can imagine that you can do so many things. So whatever here plots are shown, you can do them. You can generate some kind of textual analysis. You can create word clouds, and I'll try, if we'll have time, then we'll see word cloud as well. But now, how do we publish this? That's more important. So, so far we were working on sheets, and every sheet corresponds to one chart. But when it comes to uh, presenting your findings, you want to tell a story. You may want to combine certain charts together, and you may want to have some cover page to your story. You may want to have some text messages explaining your charts, etc. And this is where dashboards come in. And just like by clicking here, you were creating a new worksheet. Now clicking here, you can create a new dashboard. So when you create a new dashboard, basically dashboard is a screen where you can combine multiple sheets. So you have the freedom to select the layout of your dashboard. If you want if you know that your dashboard will be seen on the phone, it makes sense to create it on a phone. If you want to leave it automatic, you can do that, or you can like go to layout. You can specify you want to have um, uh, a landscape mode dashboard, or a portrait mode dashboard, and then what dimensions, etc. I want to go for a custom dashboard, let's say. So I went to size, and I said I want a fixed size dashboard, and I will specify the width and the height, and I want the width to be 1000 pixels, and I want the height to be 2000 pixels. So this is going to be my dashboard. And also, you have the option to select whether, when you put the sheets, Do you want them to be arranged automatically, which means tiled, or do you want them to be, want to have the freedom to move them around, which means floating? So I want to have the freedom to move them around myself. So I'll keep the floating one. And now I can drag and drop these sheets here. So I drag and drop the country-wise GDP trend, and I want to increase the size a little bit. And I don't want to see the show me. I want the country specific this here, and this can remain small. And I want to see the happiness on map. So I bring this here, and I want to expand this as well. Now, one interesting thing which Tableau allows you to do is to make a connection between these plots. So for example, if I want to allow my user that, hey, select a country here and I'll show you its GDP here, I can do that. So, or vice versa. So you can specify which of these sheets or which of these charts you want to be as the main source of filter. And this you can do by clicking here, use as filter. So when you click this, then in real time, when your users will select a particular country here, they will be able to see the specific value here. But when they will select a specific value here, nothing will happen to this one because we have selected only this as a use as a filter. If we will pick this one as use as a filter as well, then you can do a two-way mapping. Okay, so now we have this dashboard, and I want to name this dashboard as a country specific info. But I also want to have a nice cover page for my story. So I want to create a new dashboard, which I will use as a cover page. So I just clicked on the new dashboard thing, and I'll call this as cover page. And I can say, what do I want to do here? I want to have a happy figure image here, and I want to give it a title. But before that, I should make sure that I am using the same size, 1000 by 2000. So let me find a nice image online. Let's say this one. And I want to find something happy. Okay. And I got some nice images, and I can pick one of them. I think I like this one already. So I can download this, save link, save image as happy, and I save it. Now it's in my computer. So I come back here and I see that on the left side, there is the option to drag image and bring here. And I can choose the image that I just downloaded, which is happy. And I click OK, and I click OK, and my happy image is here. And I can increase the size of my image. And I also want to give it a nice title that it's a World Happiness Report. So it's a text. So I click on the text and bring it here. And I say it's a World Happiness Report. And I want to have it increased in size. So I select it, and I want to have it really big. And I want to have it also in yellow color. And I click OK. And then I can make some adjustments. This is the World Happiness Report, my heading. And oh, it's not aligned, so I want to central align it. Okay, and now it's centrally aligned, a little up. So now I have my cover page, and now I have two dashboards, one with my cover page, and I'm very happy to see it. And then there is the other one where is a country specific info. I can create more dashboards. You can imagine I had so many parameters. I could have created more dashboards, and we can add explanation, and we can add one more dashboard on conclusions and recommendations and so on and so forth. It's like totally up to us. So now we have everything ready and we can now create a story. So to create a story, you click this. And so now you can create a story. So now you can create, you can add dashboards to the story, and you can add sheets to the story as well. But think about it like this. Story is your the story that you want to tell. A story can have multiple dashboards, and each dashboard can have multiple sheets, and each sheet is representing a chart. So you started small, you created your charts, combine them to a dashboard, and now we are combining dashboards into a story. So my first is dashboard will be called as welcome. And in the welcome page, I want to drag my cover page. So my welcome is the World Happiness Report cover page. And now I want to create one more dashboard, the blank one. So, and this is my, what is this? Facts and findings. And here I can bring in, right, country specific info. So the dashboard, which is about country specific info, I can drag and drop, and uh, and it looks good. So I will have two dashboards in my story, and let's call it something. So story one is our first Tableau story. Okay, and uh, now we publish this. To publish this, simply speaking, you can just save. So when you hit Control S or Command S, which I just did, it asks me to sign in. So if you need to have a public Tableau dashboard. I just signed in already. And now you can say by which name do you want to save it. So World Happiness Report, and you save it. So this will upload it to the public dashboard. Now this is the tricky part, because it's public. It is what it says. It is public. So you cannot save this dashboard locally on your machine. It will be saved on the server, and it will be public. It will be open to all. So if you have a private data, if you have some confidential information, do not use public Tableau, because it will be open to all. And here we are online, and this is our first Tableau story, and this is our welcome page. And what I can do, I can share this with you. So let me do this right away. So I can go to settings, and I can say allow access, and I can say share, and I can click on the link, copy it, come back to big marker, and I am pasting it here. Please somebody share it with the audience. And now if you have it, then you can actually play around with it. Uh, I like this happiness report. It's so happy. It makes me happy. And then the facts and findings. If you are my user, you can come here and you can say, okay, I want to see how is mm, 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 whatever, this is big one, Russia doing. And as soon as I click here, as you noticed, only Russia was selected, and this graph updated itself. And if I remove this filter, then as soon as I remove the filter, then this graph resumes back. And people, our audience, can play around with it, and even if you want to download, since I have given the permission, so anyone can, by clicking here, you can allow others to download or make a copy of this quiz. If you do not allow this, then of course people can see this, people can interact with it, but cannot download or make a copy of this quiz. If you also want to show all the sheets that you created, you can also show the sheets, and then you'll see that this storyboard is updated, and now you will see not only online the storyboard, rather all the sheets. It's not recommended because when you send it over, you want to have a polished version. And that's basically it. What you just did, what you just learned is how to create a storyboard on Tableau from scratch. We did the whole pipeline. We started with totally raw data. We downloaded the data. We Let me come back to big marker so that I can come back. Yeah, so what we did, we just saw the whole pipeline. We got started with that Tableau Public. We got data, we downloaded it, we imported it in Tableau. We saw a little bit how the different parameters are interpreted by Tableau. We saw some three different kinds of graphs, and even if you would give me 1 month, the kind of charts that we saw in the beginning, they will we will never be able to explore all of them to the fullest in an hour or in a month. But you know how to do it. You know how to bring all the sheets together, all the visuals together to make a dashboard, and how you can include images, text, and combine the dashboards to create a storyline. So I thank you once again for listening in. I thank you once again for bearing with me with all the adventurous webinar uh, starting. And I hope you found this useful. And I want to leave you with a few resources. If you want to go ahead further, then you can check out some of these resources. Most important here is the one on itself on Tableau. So when we first opened Tableau, you saw that big screen. Let me actually show it to you quickly. You saw this home screen, and on the right there are very nice tutorials. So overview, intro to the interface. If you want to get ideas on what should I do, what should I build, there are ways of the day, and you can explore them, you can read more about them. And I thank you once again, and I want to have William back on stage and open up for questions.
I'm just trying to unmute myself. Thank you, Humera. Thank you so much. That was a great session, and I think it showed everybody in the audience just what a powerful tool Tableau is, taking that raw data and being able to transform it into such easily digestible graphics is amazing. And I think the engagement from the audience was also super, super nice to see. So thank you so much for presenting. I think that was a great session. Just to clarify for anyone watching, I know that was quite fast, but we have recorded the session, and tomorrow we will be sending the recording round. And I would definitely advise opening up the video and just working through the workshop in your own time. There is a lot to digest, and we had to try and do it in 45 minutes, but I think it's a very useful workshop, and I think for anybody watching, definitely try that out at home. And Humera, I thought was also great in Tableau that they've got those free resources too, so definitely check out those too. Now, this part of the webinar, we usually open up for a Q&A, so I am mindful of the time, but I would like to take some questions from the audience. If you have any more general questions about data analytics or Tableau, just drop them in the chat on Big Mark on the right-hand side. We are also streaming on LinkedIn and YouTube, so if you've got any questions there, also add it. I've just got a question just off the top of my head. But in the role of a data analyst, how often are you actually using Tableau? Is it something that you would use 25% of your time, or is it kind of like you would be spending a lot of time using this tool, or do you kind of use lots of different tools?
That's a very good question. It's difficult to quantify it, but definitely 25% is a bare minimum. Because if you notice, it depends on how big your pipeline is and how much kind of presentations do you need to give. I would say safely 25% is a good number.
Okay, awesome. Got a question from Bonnie that's just come in. I think it's the question on everyone's lips at the moment. What are you using ChatGPT for?
What am I using ChatGPT for?
Yes.
Everything.
It's a great answer.
Yes, and if you are not using ChatGPT for everything, it's like you have a calculator at hand and you are not using it to calculate how much is 12.5 multiplied by 32.9, and you're trying to do it in your head. So the thing is, ChatGPT is a very intelligent tool, and you can use it for. I have used it for data analysis as well. For example, what I did once was I took this kind of data set, gave all the parameters to ChatGPT and said, tell me what can I do with this data? And it told me what kind of questions I can ask and what kind of maps I can generate. I said, okay, show me how to generate this particular map in Tableau, and it showed me. So from this side to, oh, I need to write an email to my team asking them to do XYZ, and I want it to sound authoritative but not very arrogant. Draft me a message, and it would draft me a message. And so you can really like use it for whatever you imagine it to be. Many people are afraid of it a little bit, that it will take our jobs one day. So it really depends on what kind of jobs are we talking about. So human mind is like way beyond any AI tool. So uh, instead of being scared of that it will take my job one day, you should use it to empower yourself and use it as your assistant.
I think that's a great answer, and I think it's an answer that's also come through other webinars, events that we've done at CareerFoundry. Learn to work with ChatGPT and other AI tools, and if you're using it, you're going to have the advantage. So don't be afraid. Step in, explore, see how you can kind of like optimize maybe your work process and use it as an assistant. Just as Dr. Humera just said, great advice. Laurel's got a question, I think, in follow-up. It's a little bit similar, but it's taking a little bit of a different angle. Is data analytics still a good field to get into with the maturity of AI?
That's also a very good question. Um, Short answer is yes. There was a recent report by Gartner which said that in this decade of 2020 up till 2023, not 2023, 2030, data analytics is considered as one of the fastest growing and hottest jobs of the decade. And I totally see this. Actually, or maturity of AI tools has made this loop even more stronger, because of that you have more data generated, and since there is more data generated, more companies are becoming digitized, more online or tech or online data is coming up. You need more and more uh, tools and brain power to analyze that data. So so yes, the way you analyze it is going to be maybe different, but the need for analysis will always remain there.
Definitely. And for anybody who's interested in data analytics and would like to take the step a little bit further than this webinar, one of my team in the background will post a link on Big Market to the data analytics short course. It's like a 5 or 6 day course where you can take yourself a little bit further than the webinar this evening. It's a little bit longer than 45 minutes, but it will be very rewarding. So I do check that out. Simona had a great question. Will there be a session on SQL? Well, Simona, that's a great question, because next month, Humera will be back with a brand new workshop on SQL. So check out the CareerFoundry events page, scroll down a little bit. It's somewhere there, but next month we're going to be doing a brand new session on SQL. We're trying to tick them all off, basically, all the workshops, but do check it out. Also, all the other CareerFoundry events. I'm sorry, that was a shameless plug from my side. Sorry about that. There are a couple more questions I want to take, though. There was one question up here, which I think was a good one. Where was it again? Yes, can Tableau, Katerina's asking, can Tableau plot network diagrams?
I haven't tried it.
I love the honesty. I've got no idea either. I look like I would know, but I've got no idea. No. Another question that's come in from LinkedIn is, which tool is better, Tableau or Power BI?
Both have their own advantages and disadvantages, and it's often a matter of personal preference or the company preference. This is a question similar to asking which one is better, Google Cloud Services or Amazon Cloud Services, or like they are two different brands from two different sources. One is coming from Microsoft, other is from Salesforce. So they have big developer companies behind them, and they typically they have integration to different tools all over present. So mostly, if you know one, it's very easy to move over to the next one. And also, typically when companies ask for a data analyst opening, they specify you should know either of the two. Very seldom it happens that the company would say, oh, we need to have Power BI, Tableau won't work. This happens very, very rarely. Otherwise, it's like they have their own pros and cons, and they both get the work done.
Nice. Aisha's also asking, for the demo, were you using the desktop app or the browser?
I use the desktop app, and you can download it from, once you register, you can just download it.
Okay, awesome. I am mindful of the time. We were limited to a certain time this evening. I would just like, Humera, thank you so much. I just love the fact this started off in a building somewhere, went to a car, and then went back home, and you did it with such amazing professionalism. So thank you so much.
Thank you for your support.
Very much looking forward to the next session on SQL later, I think next month. I'd also like to thank the audience for watching with us this evening, also on YouTube and LinkedIn, everybody on Big Marker. Thought the questions were really, really good. As promised, tomorrow we will send around the recording with the links, everything that we talked about this evening, and a couple of other things. So do check your inboxes, also maybe your spam. I hope it doesn't land in spam. It should end up in the primary inbox, but you never know. So do check all the different inboxes that you do have. Whilst I'm here, I will just do a couple of short plugs. Do check out the CareerFoundry blog. We've got a lot of incredibly talented editors working at CareerFoundry, working on a lot of blog articles about data analytics, but also some more specifics about the different tools, salaries, jobs in your locality, all those kind of things. And do check out the YouTube channel, because the video team's in the background. And if I don't mention that, I don't know what will happen, but do check out the CareerFoundry YouTube channel. Humera and I have also done some videos together, also on the short course, so you'll see us there. And also, whilst I'm here, and for anybody interested in doing the full CareerFoundry program with a mentor, just like Humera, we are currently offering a Women in Tech scholarship in celebration of Women's History Month, and also a Solidarity Partial Scholarship. Now, I've added the link in the top, you'll see on Big Marker. There's more information about the different scholarships there. But if you are interested, do click on that. And if you're interested in taking one of the programs, I would recommend booking a call with one of our program advisors. I know them all personally, super friendly. If you've got any questions about the CareerFoundry mentorship model, the curriculum, jobs in your locality, anything about the program, they're there to answer your questions and whether you'll be a right fit for a career in data analytics. So do check that out. And that's everything from me. I think we're signing off. Thanks for everybody for joining. Humera, thank you once again. And we will see you all at the next webinar very, very soon. So enjoy your evenings or mornings, wherever you're joining from. And Humera, have a great evening.
Thank you, and you too.